2年前、この世界の魔族の王から襲撃を受けた。
Usato, a regular high school guy with a pretty ordinary life, bad grades, no friends, and zero romantic adventures. He's your typical nice guy. But before we delve into that, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more fantastic anime recommendations, even helping out birds on a regular day. But here's the catch. He's secretly yearning for something more, dreaming of a fantasy world to spice up his otherwise dull existence. One day, the plot thickens when his umbrella gets swiped, leaving Usato with a dilemma. Instead of chasing the thief, he decides to play the noble card and waits for the rain to stop because, you know, princesses can't be caught in the rain. But, surprise, the rain decides it's in for the long haul. Suzyun, the student council president, entering the scene. She's got questions about the missing umbrella, and Usato, though nervous, spills the truth he's umbrella-less. Suzyun informs him that the school is closing, and Usato takes it as a clue to exit her presence. Ready to leave, he's stopped by the stunning vice president, Kazuki, offering his spare umbrella. Suzyun intervenes, ensuring Usato won't get wet, and Kazuki, the epitome of perfection, enters the scene. Usato, your everyday nice guy, gives a grateful nod to Kazuki for the umbrella favor. In response, Kazuki, being all chill, throws out a suggestion for a more casual name for our friendly protagonist. Suzyun joins in, deciding on calling him Usato. Flustered, Usato misinterprets this as flirtation. They invite him to walk home together, and he can't believe he's hanging out with the cool kids. Grateful, he explains how Kazuki mostly talks to girls. Suzyun teases Kazuki's popularity, and Usato attempts to contribute by praising Suzyun as a goddess. With confusion ensuing, Usato boldly asks if they're a couple due to their frequent student council interactions. The duo clarifies they're just friends. Suzyun questions Usato's plans for the future, but he humorously declares staying in his mom's basement. Suzyun shares her curiosity about people's future plans, revealing her lack of them due to quickly achieving her goals, which leaves her feeling isolated. Usato relates, feeling a connection in their shared feelings about life. Suddenly, a bell interrupts the conversation, bringing an unexpected pause to their interaction. Usato's all confused, scratching his head as things take a wild turn. Kazuki, trying to make sense of it, asks about a bell sound, but Usato's in the dark, can't hear a thing. The bell gets louder, but Usato's still in his own world. And then, like a plot twist, a magical circle pops up under them. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Cool as a cucumber, Usato drops the bomb that they're getting summoned to a whole other world. Kazuki's giving him the side eye, thinking he's maybe lost it. But guess what? Suzyun's got a big grin, thrilled at the idea of monsters and heroes in a magical realm. Buckle up, it's about to get magical. Suddenly, they blink, and bam. They're not in city anymore. Instead, they find themselves in this weird room. And there's this old dude chilling on a throne, giving off Major King vibes. Usato's all like, where are we? And Kazuki's just as clueless. They're on a quest to find Suzyun, and surprise, she's all smiles, soaking up the fact that they've landed in a whole new world. Now, the real deal, the old guy spills the beans. He's Lloyd, self-proclaimed king of Linger. Things just got royal up in here. Suzyun the jaw-dropping moments as they try to wrap their heads around this unexpected journey. Kazuki remains perplexed, but Suzyun is thrilled at the revelation that they have been summoned as heroes. The king elaborates on their dire situation, a resurrected demon lord and ongoing attacks for 2 years. Desperate, they resorted to a forbidden spell to summon heroes from another world. Suzyun, initially ecstatic, scolds the king for dragging them into this predicament. Kazuki, adopting a confrontational stance, demands to be sent back, expressing concern for their families. The king asserts the summoning only works in one direction, and Kazuki, angered, refuses to cooperate. Soldiers intervene, pointing their weapons, and Usato attempts to calm Kazuki down, succeeding eventually. The king, kneeling, promises to find a way to send them home after defeating the demon lord. Suzyun questions why they're called heroes, leading the king's mage, Welsi, to explain. The summoning seeks those with the potential to become heroes, marked by the sound of a bell. Remembering Usato's lack of response to the bell, they realize he arrived accidentally, unwanted by both his parents and the world. In Welsi's room, the group prepares to test their magical aptitude by touching a crystal ball. Suzyun eagerly anticipates the test, while Kazuki questions Usato about his feelings regarding the involuntary summoning. Usato, content with the situation, mentions Welsi's assurance that he can still use magic. Kazuki, reflecting on being summoned against his will, acknowledges Usato's calm acceptance, considering Suzyun the odd one out. Observing Suzume's eccentric behavior, Kazuki attributes it to her optimism. Usato, however, is aware of a different truth. As the crystal ball begins to glow, Welsi prompts Suzume to start her magical test. Suzume, all smiles, gives the crystal ball a touch, and boom. It lights up like a yellow disco. Welsi spills the beans. Suzume's got the thunder magic power and a hefty dose of mana. Kazuki, being the observant buddy, catches Suzume's joy, but Usato's quick to figure out it's the kind of magic she's always dreamt about. Now, it's Kazuki's turn with the crystal ball, and it goes all white, a light attribute to be precise. Suzume, in her fantasy world, suggests laser beams, but Usato tells him to tone down his stupid feelings. Annoyed by Usato's interruption, Suzume confesses she likes that trait in a man, leaving Usato feeling shattered as he had considered her perfect. Whilst he drops some magical knowledge, light magic is powerful against the demon lord. Usato, feeling bold, decides to test it out. But guess what? Instead of the expected light show, a flash of green throws everyone for a loop. While Suzume and Kazuki find the color beautiful, Welsi panics, grabbing Usato's hand and rushing back to the throne room. The king's got that puzzled look, wondering if they've sorted out their magical talents. Welsi confirms that Kazuki and Suzume are packing some serious magical potential. But when it comes to Usato, there's a pause, a little hesitation in the air. Here's where it gets interesting. The king, thinking he's got it all figured out, laughs it off, assuming Usato's the master of darkness. But when Welsi reveals that Usato's crystal went all green, Usato, still in the dark, throws out the big question. What does this green vibe mean for him? The king, alarmed, plans to keep Usato away from the castle due to the rarity and potential danger of his attribute. Despite considering hiding him in town, the king doubts any safe place exists. Meanwhile, a woman walks into the hallway, prompting the king to instruct his guards to prepare. Usato, bewildered, seeks clarification about his potential danger and the existence of someone else with a similar attribute. The king spills the beans, confessing there's another green magic wielder in town, and apparently, they're trouble. Suddenly, a mysterious woman bursts into the throne room, sending shockwaves through the place. She grills the king about the summoning gig and the hero's grand entrance. The king, trying to play it cool, tosses out a casual mention of her supposed day off, but she's having none of it. No breaks for this lady. Locking eyes with Usato, she pops the big question, is he the hero? Usato, feeling the heat, takes a step back. The king, in an attempt to downplay Usato's role, casually calls him an average pleb. But here's the kicker, the woman sees right through the king's poker face, catching on to his nervous vibes. Rose, the captain of the rescue squad, swooping into the scene with questions about Usato's name. But here's the twist, Usato's got this gut feeling that she might be more into causing trouble than saving the day. Welsi, ever the peacemaker, steps up, bringing up the heroes hanging out by the crystal ball. She offers to guide Rose there, and with a nod, Rose gets ready to roll. Everything seemingly calm. The king, feeling the relief, suggests Usato take a breather while they sort out the nitty-gritty. Usato's on board but can't help being curious about his magic deal. In his innocent quest for answers, he pops the question, what's the deal with this green light magic? Hold on tight because Rose, out of the blue, slams on the brakes. Panic ensues in the room and it seems like Usato's simple question might have triggered something big. Rose, after confirming the green magic situation, drops the bomb, she's taking Usato with her. The king, in full panic mode, orders Welsi to whisk Usato away from the castle. Welsi, being the quick thinker, surrounds Usato with a protective bubble and tries to make a quick exit. But here's where it gets wild. Rose, like a speed demon, catches up, punches through the bubble, and scoops Usato up. She's practically a superhero. Adding some flair, she uses a nearby statue to soften her landing, throwing some serious skills into the mix. Rose then turns to the king, making it clear she's on a mission to train Usato as a healer. Ignoring the king's protests, she struts away, leaving the castle in her magical dust. Back inside, Welsi explains to Suzume and Kazuki Usato's been taken, but no need to stress, he's totally safe. She reveals that Usato's attribute is healing magic, a rare skill in their world. Rose, meanwhile, leads Usato to her base. A fox girl observes their interaction. Welsi further explains that Rose will teach Usato everything she knows, but warns that Rose's training methods are unorthodox, akin to living in hell. At the base, Rose informs Usato that he'll be living there from now on and introduces him to the other members, who appear more like a band of bandits. Rose kicks one of them away for scaring Usato, and they introduce themselves in a quirky manner. Rose clarifies that while her squad has only 2 more healers stationed elsewhere, she will personally teach Usato healing magic. Panic sets in for Usato, but Rose brushes off his concerns, leaving orders for Tong to show Usato around. The bandit gang jokes about the challenges he'll face under Rose's tutelage, indicating he'll be living in hell. As night falls, Usato initially worries but eventually realizes the futility and falls asleep. The following morning, Usato wakes up to the realization that his journey into another world wasn't a dream. A fellow approaches, informing him of visitors. Stepping outside, he encounters Kazuki and Suzune, visibly relieved that he's safe. Usato apologizes for causing worry and reassures them of his well-being. But the mood shifts when he remembers Rose. The looming prospect of Rose training him, starting that very day, dawns on Usato, adding a touch of uncertainty to his survival. The duo is surprised by the mention of what sounds like a grueling training regime and questions his preparedness. Kazuki, with an air of determination, asserts that he has nothing else to do and sees it as an opportunity to contribute. Suzune is impressed by Kazuki's resolve, and they reveal their decision to commence their training that day. Usato, curious about their heroic endeavors, mentions his admiration for their cool outfits. Suzune laughs it off, but Kazuki expresses gratitude, stating that Usato's words strengthened his resolve. As Kazuki and Suzune depart, Usato reflects on Kazuki's struggle to adapt to this new world and his quest to become a hero. On the contrary, Suzune appears nonchalant, seemingly getting what she wanted. Inspired by their dedication, Usato vows to be of assistance to them someday. Suddenly, Rose emerges and inquires if the heroes are gone. Usato, caught off guard, hesitates to respond. Rose, unfazed, assures him that he's not confined and can meet his friends outside of training. She hands him a diary, encouraging him to document his training program, experiences, or anything he wishes. After breakfast, the anticipated hellish training takes an unexpected turn. Instead of physical exertion, Usato's initial task is to concentrate and relax. Feeling a peculiar sensation on his chest, Rose introduces him to the concept of magic, explaining that she'll teach him how to project it from his body. Usato, initially confused, begins his magical training. However, the day takes another surprising twist when Rose instructs him to read a book. Despite his skepticism about understanding the language of this world, upon opening the book, Usato realizes that he can read and comprehend it. Rose explains that, thanks to the hero ritual, everyone receives a translation spell. Using images, Rose enlightens Usato about their current location and the demon's whereabouts. Usato realizes the proximity and learns that Linger is the demon's first target. Rose instructs him to delve into the book, promising insights into the world's nations, races, and demons. Initially finding the training easy, Usato's perception changes on the second day. Rose surprises him with a physical challenge, running, unrelated to magic. The third day pushes Usato to run until his body gives up. When he collapses, Rose scolds him for resting. Explaining his exhaustion, Rose magically heals his muscle soreness. Usato, initially complaining, realizes the pain is gone. Rose, unimpressed, labels him trash and demands more running. On the fourth day, Usato joins other squad members for training. Bandits insult him, overlapping his efforts. Rose joins, adding insults to the mix. Usato, frustrated, vents in his diary. Days 5 and 6 continue the rigorous running, with Rose deeming him slow and persistently insulting. On the 7th day, Usato runs until exhaustion, becoming Rose's kicking bag. She reveals she read his diary, shocking Usato. Thrown into the air, Usato promises to call her the muscle-headed demon gorilla in his diary. Days 8 and 9 mirror the routine, running to exhaustion, getting kicked, and repeating. Unbeknownst to Usato, he heals himself using magic every time he's injured. He later realizes he's unintentionally using healing magic. Usato discovers that using healing magic becomes second nature. He no longer feels pain or injuries. Despite this newfound ability, he refrains from using it without orders, wanting to demonstrate initiative. Resuming his running, things take a turn on the 10th day. Usato learns to use magic to run without fatigue. Still harboring doubts about helping Kazuki and Suzune, he refrains from questioning Rose, anticipating her harsh response. At that moment, Rose surprises him with an order for 30 more laps, testing his endurance. Despite his frustration, Usato vows to finish the training and assert his dominance. However, Rose quickly adds 1,000 push-ups to his program the next day. Unable to complete it alone, Usato relies on healing magic to endure. Rose reveals the purpose of the rigorous training: to prepare him for battlefield scenarios, running from enemies and saving fallen comrades. On the 12th day, Usato runs the entire morning and engages in push-ups in the afternoon. Rose refrains from scolding, but he senses a change in his body. Adding weights while running, Rose intensifies the training. By the 14th day, Usato's lunch goes missing, and he confronts his squad. Tom, avoiding his punch, explains that internal fights are banned. Despite carrying weights, Usato effortlessly chases Tom, realizing he might be getting brainwashed, evident in his reduced complaints. On the 21st day, Kazuki, Suzyun, the princess, and a knight visit Usato. They witness him doing push-ups with Rose sitting on a rock atop him, urging him not to quit. Usato, determined, refuses to quit and boldly claims the exercise is too easy because Rose is light. Rose mocks him, jumps down, and places another rock on top, further challenging him. Despite initial regrets, Usato persists, utilizing his magic to heal. Rose admires his determination, suggesting he might become her type of guy and join her sooner than expected. While Kazuki and Suzyum are shocked, Suzyum starts admiring Usato's muscles. The knight, however, is furious, grabbing Rose's collar, accusing her of trying to destroy Usato. Rose asserts her right to use her methods to mold Usato into her right-hand man. She claims the knight can train his way, but she'll be unforgiving. Both Usato and the knight are taken aback. Rose praises Usato's refusal to give up and reveals that the knight will likely make his training harder. Rose orders Usato to take a break and have lunch. As Kazuki and Suzyun take care of the princess, the knight confronts Rose privately. He complains about the king ordering Rose to re-enlist, but she refuses, citing missing an eye. Resting under a tree, Usato learns the knight is Siglis, the kingdom's strongest, teaching Kazuki and Suzyun swordsmanship. Usato turns to the princess, apologizing for his earlier rudeness. She encourages him to be comfortable around her. Suzyun mocks Kazuki's similar reaction. Kazuki asks if Usato's training has always been as tough. Usato replies that today was relatively easy and inquires about theirs. Kazuki explains their rigorous training with Siglis for swordsmanship and Welsi for magic, considering physical and mental conditions. Usato finds it normal, but Rose is a different case. As Kazuki apologizes, Usato gets another slice of pie. Suzyun takes the chance to check his muscles, making him shy. Even the princess is curious. Kazuki senses Usato's initial struggle but notes his current resilience. Usato admits finding Rose intimidating initially but now enjoys the training and life in this world. Suzyun is impressed that Usato has already found a place to belong, but he dismisses it as mere stubbornness. He showcases his healing magic, expressing the intent to fight as a hero and help in any way possible. Suzyun takes this opportunity to flirt, asking Usato to save her when needed. However, Usato remains unaffected, stating it's too late for her to act like a normal girl. The princess agrees with Usato. Suddenly, Tong appears, claiming to have Usato's lunch. Annoyed, Usato adopts his mafia face and questions Tong's attitude. Despite Tong's actions, he uses his mafia face to tell Usato to forget about the past. Refusing to let go of his missing lunch, Usato charges forward, and the two engage in a brawl in front of everyone. Although the princess is scared, Kazuki reassures her, stating it seems like a normal day. Suzyun mentions that Usato is fitting into this world faster than they are, motivating Kazuki to return to the castle and resume his training. The brawl ends with no clear winner, leaving Usato and Tong with bruised faces. During the nighttime, Usato reflects while taking a bath, finding it nice to be with his comrades. However, Suzyun creeps him out, making him realize the changes in his body from training muscles to exhaustion and healing with magic. Despite his transformed body, Usato wonders if his determination can match its strength. The next day, Rose throws him a bag, signaling they are heading outside. The bandit-like guys get worried, realizing it's finally time. Usato is confused, but Rose takes him to the castle gate, informing the guard that she's taking someone outside. They walk for hours until reaching a cliff. Rose reveals the forest ahead is called the Darkness of Linger, known for dangerous monsters. She gives Usato a daunting task. He can only return home after killing a grand grizzly. Usato hesitates, stating such monsters become the strongest after a century, and he doesn't know how to fight. Rose, annoyed, throws him into the forest. And get ready for an epic journey. Hit subscribe now and be part of the adventure unfolding in the next video.